Hey everybody, SmaugtheDM here, and yeah, I wanted to make this like a quick little update before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video. Um, I'll start off by completely apologizing to everybody, because the timeline once again got fucked. Uh, and I feel so bad for not getting anything done. And I am once again cutting the timeline even further down now, which is probably showing on screen. Yeah, please don't hate me for this shit. Um, I've just been like incredibly busy with work, and unfortunately, like especially if a certain event comes up and does happen, right around like Octoberish, then I'm gonna have to slowly start cutting out content, just so that I can get used to the new thing that's coming up soon. But yeah, I'm still working on the Jurassic Park 3 Everything Wrong with video, and that's gonna be the first thing that gets tackled. I'm gonna try to get it done as fast as humanly possible. But I feel like I'm probably not gonna even make it for the stuff that we're going to be doing in October. So obviously the FNAF Everything Wrong with's getting pushed back. Um, and yeah, and the Jurassic World Everything Wrong with videos, especially if Jeremy does a rebirth video, which is definitely probably going to happen because Jurassic Park, what was it now? 8? 8 is now being confirmed? Holy fuck. But yeah, since that movie's is already confirmed to be out and it's gonna be the next thing in the series, Jeremy is definitely gonna be doing Rebirth soon, and I've already got a good feeling of what he's probably gonna already say about Rebirth, just from the hindsight of the movie. But besides that, Jurassic World Evolution 3 and FNAF 2 are still gonna be like the highlights for October this year. The surprise video is still going to be put out in November, and I feel like you guys are still going to be really interested in that surprise video. I think that's going to be entertaining. And then the last episode before the Age of Ultron is going to be like roughly around November, December, when I'll try to finish that one up. And hopefully, shit does not fucking change for this damn timeline. So that way it's a lot more accurate to reality, basically. Obviously, if the thing that is coming up in October doesn't pan out very well for me, then I will obviously try to get videos done and ready to go for the next year, so that way they're already like pre-done and shit. But yeah, I've been incredibly busy when it comes to just work, and there's something that's coming up that I did on Sunday, as of recording this video. So I'm hoping they get back to me, and if they do get back to me, needless to say, yeah, I'm gonna be like cutting my time a little short, and it's nothing really to worry about, guys. It's something that's gonna be new and exciting, and I will let the entire like community know about that once I get it. But anywho, this is now the more accurate timeline. I do want to apologize profusely to people who really wanted the Everything Wrong with videos to be done. That's not happening. That's no longer happening, so I apologize for that. I'm still willing to watch Jurassic World eventually when we get Jurassic Park 3 done, but other than that, this is like basically the accurate timeline. And for those of you who are genuinely curious about the D&D Jurassic Park game I've been working on, I've got the two sub races completed, and pretty much most of the new backgrounds that I add to the game are within the module right now. I'm probably gonna be just releasing like like some snapshots of like the 2 sub races I've got going. But yeah, that's going actually pretty dang well. So I mean, like, oh, is that what you've been doing for your time, Smell? You've just been working on a freaking module, and I'm like, yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, that's really like the little mini update that I wanted to give. Now, the main reason why this video is probably as long as it is, you're probably wondering what the hell does Smile have to say to refer himself. I did something a little fun on my Discord server where I know a lot of you have been asking me to do an Iceberg video for Lost Tapes, which I'll be brutally honest, I didn't know how to do it properly. Like what stuff is like goes in the different parts of the iceberg. So I figured for fun, I did my own version of the iceberg of my own iceberg video. An iceberg that's completely dedicated to me. And I actually was genuinely curious to see how far people would have gone down in the berg, but nobody has really like answered that question. But yeah, I figured I would go through the iceberg itself and basically explain everything. There might be some things that I might avoid saying what they are, or I'm going to be very brief with it, but I will do my best to explain the entirety of the iceberg. And if you guys don't know what an iceberg video is, it's basically a video. It's basically a video where they show you an image of an iceberg, right? And whatever the topic is, it goes from like very common knowledge of that topic to stuff that like barely anybody knows. Like the biggest of fans of that certain topic would know that the answer to those prompts, and they're like very like lucrative and secretive shit. And I kind of did the same thing for myself. So I want to legitimately explain my own iceberg. And we're going to start off with the surface knowledge. YouTube. Oh my god. I don't think I need to really explain this one. I am like partial YouTube. I'm a partial YouTuber. I've been YouTuber since 2016, so it'll be 10 years next year. Holy shit. But yeah, mostly everybody knows me from my YouTube channel. I make a lot of content on there. Twitter.
Twitter.
What's Twitter?
Well, I'll tell you when you're older.
And again, another thing that I pointed out, like, I think my first real app that I had added to the channel was actually a Twitter feed. And I mostly added the Twitter feed to... The premise was to follow YouTubers that I liked, whereas on the channel, it's all my fans I'm subscribed to. So the Twitter feed is to catch up on what other content creators that I like are actually doing on the space. And, you know, for the most part, Twitter for me is just like a whole bunch of memes. If you want a good laugh out of me every day, I'm there on Twitter reposting shit. Discord. Discord is probably my second app that I have on the channel. It's mostly just a social space for all of you guys and all my friends. And, well, I just recently did some modifications to the Discord. Which, by the way, if you're added to the Discord now and you haven't, placed a role, start adding roles now. I'm gonna let you know about a certain thing that's gonna happen later, but just know that you probably should start figuring out which roles you want, and that would be right under the roles tab on my server. Dangerous hunts. Now, I am a huge fan of Cabela's hunting games since I was a little kid, and I have an entire dedicated series on my channel where I'm playing every single Dangerous Hunts game that I have access to. I think the only one I haven't played on the channel is 2011, but that's only because the emulator on it kind of sucks balls. But yeah, I am definitely a huge fan of the Cabela series. I've even started making lore videos on the Dangerous Hunts series, which I think is really dang interesting. Character themes. Now, these are like little videos that I have done about my favorite franchises, and I give characters various different like song themes. And this is genuinely like one of the few things that people come to my channel for, is to watch those videos, which I think is really neat. They absolutely love every single character themes video, and I haven't done a characters theme video in a long while. But that's probably because I haven't found like another good franchise to do a themes video on. I might be redoing the Jurassic Park one, but I think I'm gonna just sit in a corner and wait a little bit longer, because since we're adding more and more stuff to the Jurassic series, that themes video might take a while to rework. Jurassic fan. It's no big surprise, I am a huge Jurassic Park fanboy. Anybody who knows me, or knows the channel, knows that I'm a gigantic Jurassic Park fan. You could probably say, other people could probably say otherwise, because I have not beaten the Lost World Jurassic Park, but at the end of the day, let's be for real, I am a huge fan of the franchise, and it's one of the few things that you really cannot take away from me. Lost tapes. Okay, now this is gonna be a no shocker, but let me explain this one more time, because I keep repeating myself. So, Lost Tapes was a show on Animal Planet around 2008 to 2010, where it was a found footage show which dealt with cryptids, or cryptozoology, or, cryptid animals. And I'm kind of one of the few YouTubers that actually covers this show. Maybe I don't get as many views as I get from, like, other creators who have talked about this show, like Wendigo, but I am, like, one of the few head channels that covers this show. And mostly this is where I got my start on YouTube, is talking about Lost Tapes in general. Don't cry, little Lost Tapes fan. Uncle Smile's got enough Lost Tapes content to feed you your entire life. Jerry, bring out the reaction of Monster in Monterey. The ball's hungry. D&D Earth. Now, D&D Earth, for those of you who don't know, is the campaign that I have been running on the channel for at least a year or two now. This is a campaign where I have a bunch of friends, and it's an entire campaign that's based on our Earth with a fuck ton of different franchises to it, which I think is a really absolutely unique setting, and it has been absolutely a hilarious ride to go through with a bunch of buddies of mine. Currently, as it stands, we are in Season 2 right now, and like I said in the little update, that we are about to head into the Age of Ultron arc that we did for the series, and I think you guys are going to have a really interesting time as soon as it comes out. The Everything Wrong With series. Now, Everything Wrong With was actually inspired... Well, first of all, CinemaSins did the series first, where they sin a whole bunch of movies for common tropes. But then you have YouTubers like The Birdman, who basically go through what they say, and they argue against some of their points, where it's like, no, that's not exactly what happened. And I figure I would put my own twist to it. Even though it's very similar to Birdman's formula of how he does it, which is basically just a gigantic parody of, what CinemaSins does. And it's basically a series where I'm covering all the shit that I liked. So the very first series, the very first set of videos that I did for the series was the Hobbit trilogy, because I'm one person who heavily defends the Hobbit trilogy of all things. But yeah, if you want a good nitpicky time with a series that's a little newer to the channel, then the Everything Wrong With series on my channel is there for you. Jurassic World Evolution. Now, this is going to be covering 1, 2, and 3, but it's mainly the first game. The first game is really what also got me off the ground as a YouTuber. And playing with some really unique people, and all the different characters that were within the series. I had such an amazing time with the first Evolution game. I even made a whole goodbye video to it because I was so upset that the first game was leaving, and how the first game kind of got me off the ground. So it's a game that I heavily cherish on the channel. I can't wait for Evolution 3, but given the traction that I've been given on Evolution 2, you already probably have some good ideas as to what I'm probably going to say about the third game. But I'm going to try to keep positive with it, with all of that. But yeah, Jurassic World Evolution is a hardcore thing for me. The Pokemon charity streams. So, for context, this is another newer thing that I did just earlier this year. I started doing charity streams because of a certain other thing that's on the Iceberg that happened. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something good. And so I started legitimately playing Pokemon on live on YouTube, where we got up to $90 on our first game of Leaf Green to the American Cancer Society, which is still awesome, by the way. And currently, as of right now, I'm going to be trying to level up Mons, and don't quote me on it, but probably this coming February, next year, is probably when I'll start playing Heart Gold. Don't quote me on that, but that's probably what's gonna happen. But yeah, if you're looking for, just for me to play Pokemon and have, an interesting time with it, while I'm also talking to chat and everything, then the charity streams are also there for you. So now we move on to the surface level. Patreon. Now, Patreon and me have fucking history. I have been asking so many people to donate to Patreon for so many years now. Even hell, more recently, I just set up a Patreon account and re-updated the whole thing so that you guys can listen into unedited recordings of the Everything Wrong With and a whole bunch of other stuff. But unfortunately, since nobody was really a member on it, and I wasn't really posting too much content on there, I fully decided to get rid of Patreon as a whole. But if you're willing to donate at all, I have both a PayPal, which is how the charity streams are basically paid, and I just give that money away to the charity towards the end of the stream, and as well as a Throne page if you want to donate to the channel. SCP. Yeah, so right around COVID is when I started talking about the SCP franchise, which is another franchise I'm really heavily invested into, which is basically a series of collective horror stories, if you will, with some interesting twists to them. That's how I would categorize SCP. as, but I have like whole dedicated videos to it. Probably my most popular character themes video is on SCP, is on the SCP franchise. But yeah, SCP's like kind of there for me. It's like a part of the channel. It's like a little side thing. Kevin.
Have you been introduced to Kevin?
No, which one's Kevin?
He's here on a special work program. He's slow, you know, in his brain.
Oh, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Kevin is a compsognathus that I have called for both when I played the Return to Jurassic Park DLC for Evolution, as well as when I played the Lost World Jurassic Park on the channel. I have called the compsognathus in this series Kevin. And Kevin is one of those dinosaur characters that is not, doesn't have a single brain cell in his head, but he's funny as hell. But Kevin is one of the few characters on the channel that I have absolutely adored and have a good time laughing at. Vampire.
Come out, wherever you are. What the hell?
For those of you who don't know, for the show Lost Tapes, Vampire is still by far the scariest fucking episode, even though my community would like to disagree with me. But regardless, Vampire has traumatized the fuck out of me as a kid, because I have lived in some not so savory places, and I've lived in homes that have, shall we say, looked like the episode itself. Where they're really run down and beat up. And so, the Vampire episode is so infamous on the channel that I have an entire dedicated server, which I'll talk about when we get to that point, where they make fun of me about watching the Vampire episode, and they have even demanded that I rent out the Vampire episode itself, which you can actually donate to on the Throne page, where I'll make an entire dedicated video of just going to the house that's in the episode itself, and heading down into the basement. Fuck. DXD. Now, this is more of an open secret that I have said, I think probably since I started the channel, but I'm kind of a fan of High School DxD as an anime. I mean, it's not my favorite anime overall, but there's definitely a lot of things that get inspired through High School DxD. And the main reason why I probably like this series as much as I do is not because of the plot, but because of the plot. I'm not talking about the fan service of the show, but I'm talking about, like, the story, like, the interesting universe it offers. I think it's actually genuinely really cool. And some of you might think that I'm obsessed with the show, and I'm like, you're not wrong, but it's one of those, like, embarrassing animes that I just don't like talking about it, but at the same time, I can't deny that I like the show, even if the fan services can be a little bit much too, like, a little bit too much. But, genuinely, like, yeah, I am a fan of High School DxD, and that's kind of been an open secret for me ever since I, like, started the channel, for real. Season 4. So, I wanted to do an entire dedicated Season 4 of Lost Tapes on the channel. So I created an entire server where I had a whole bunch of people, like from writers to actors to artists, actually go in and help me work on this project. Unfortunately for it, though, there were, like, way too many restrictions. The owner of Lost Tapes, he still owns the right to the show, despite him openly saying that he is not going to do a 4th season or any other season. He's just going to continue doing the first 3 seasons of the show, and that's it. He was done. So there was a cease and desist on top of that. Plus, we needed, like, funding for the project itself, which was not happening. So a lot of factors kind of led to, ultimately, the shutdown of Season 4 of Lost Tapes. Which is a little upsetting, but I think there was still a win here with the whole shutting down of Season 4, with stuff that's going to be later talked about. FNAF. No shocker, but I do like Five Nights at Freddy's. Even if the lore is, like, now extremely convoluted as to, I don't know what the fuck is happening half the time, but I've been a FNAF fan since FNAF 2, actually. I wasn't aware of the first FNAF until FNAF 2 got announced, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know there was a first game. Yeah, but I've been a huge fan of FNAF 2 for the longest time, and hell, I even played through the first FNAF game on the channel, which I did pretty damn well, surprisingly. And as you all know from the little update that I gave out, I will be playing FNAF 2, which is where I started, you know, watching the movie. Like, I started playing the games, and I got interested in the series. Especially since when FNAF 2 is coming out, like the movie is coming out, this December, I think it is. It's gonna be awesome to go back to the theater and watch that movie. Monster of Monterey Bay.
To the no.
For those of you who are unaware, Monster of Monterey Bay is an episode of Lost Tapes. I think it's episode 3 or episode 2 of the first season of the show, where I fucking hate this episode. I hate it. And normally, like, a lot of people in the Lost Tapes community are like, oh, Reptilian's really bad because it was just a flip-off, or this episode's really bad, or this episode's, like, really bad. But for me personally, Monster of Monterey Bay is the absolute fucking worst this show could get. And I've had a lot of people disagree with me, and I even lost a fucking debate with Soul Unpleasant with this one. And so, Monster of Monterey Bay has been infamous on the channel as my weakness. It's the black arrow to me. Because I hate this episode so fucking much. And even on my Throne page as well, I have an entire trip dedicated to just flipping off the Monster of Monterey Bay. So if you want to support that, then go right ahead. But yeah, the main reason why it's on the surface level is because of my hatred for this episode. The Ranger from Bigfoot. Rachel Glenn. Oh my god. This is another thing about my Lost Tapes community that I absolutely fucking love. Is that we'll talk about, like, there are certain things we'll talk about. And there was one discussion that came up that was like, hey, who is your favorite female character in this series? And I went with Rachel Glenn because she's a fucking ranger. Because she's like a game warden. And everyone in the community started making fun of me for liking this girl. I don't remember the actress who plays her, but oh my god. Everyone just started making fun of me for liking this one character. Even so, to a point where I made an entire YouTube poop video dedicated to this one joke of me liking the Ranger from Bigfoot. And it was the funniest fucking thing that I've ever created from a joke that everybody makes fun of me for. But yeah, the Ranger from Big Fight, yeah, is definitely one of the few female characters that I actually do like. Because she's blonde and because she's also a game warden. But yeah, one waifu, it's basically one waifu joke that went way too far and was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm making an entire dedicated video to the joke. I will make this Rachel Glenn, my queen, and SmaugtheDM will finally have the perfect king! Captain, assemble your finest men! We're going to have a tournament!
Like that's ever gonna happen. What a load.
Ripe watermelon. Now, for those of you who have been there since the very first Evolution game, and through the very first or second episode, I believe, ripe watermelon is a Struthiomimus, and it's the arid pattern of the Struthiomimus, where this Struthiomimus has been infamous because of what Durstein says in the video itself, where he's like, he looks at the coloration of the Struthiomimus, and I don't know if I want to talk about it, but I guess I'll talk about it a little bit. But Durstein is actually colorblind, and he looked at this thing and he was like, it looks like a cross between a turkey and a watermelon. And I saw that imagery and I was like, oh my god, it is. And ripe watermelon has just became infamous as like a joke dinosaur character that, for those of you who have watched the Evolution series, like you would know, Dinosaur King. Now this is my favorite anime of all time, period, bar none. Unless we get that Prehistoric Sanctuary like manga adapted into an anime, this is my favorite anime. Period. For people who think that I like DxD, like DxD's my favorite, no, shut the fuck up. This one's my favorite overall, because it had like so many different dinosaurs added to the roster. It was a show that I legitimately like sat down every week to watch it on 4Kids, and by far, like, I made an entire episode, it's called The Perfect Show, where I talked about Dinosaur King, where it was like the arcade, the video game, or like the DS game that came out with it, as well as the anime. Now, I grant you that Season 2 was not perfect, but Season 1 was absolutely lightning in a bottle. And if it ever did get a reboot, like a lot of people are like suggesting online, I would be down for it. I would want to see a reboot of Dinosaur King as a whole. Time and Eternity. Okay. This one's kind of a broad one to talk about, and oh, let's get the fucking cat out of the bag. This is the game that has my actual waifu in it. If you want to know who my waifu truly was, this is her. These two women are them. A lot of people would be like, no, Rheastasia are. No! Fuck no. This is the original waifu that I had in mind. And once I did start playing the game, I was absolutely having a wonderful time, because I've always wanted to play this game, and never realized I could just emulate it. And with that being said, with all of that being said, around the time that I was working on playing on Time and Eternity, I did get bullied by a certain Indoraptor. And this is when we had an overall, like, conversation over fucking YouTube, where I legitimately banned his ass. He was, like, the first, like, YouTuber I legitimately banned off the channel. I mean, obviously, after, like, a year or two, I removed him from the ban list, because it was just shit-talking. But yeah, like literally Time Eternity's kind of controversial in a way. I've never finished the game because, you know, nobody was really interested in me finishing the game. If you guys are legitimately interested in me finishing it, let me know. But yeah, Time Eternity is like another one of those games that I absolutely enjoyed playing, and okay, and let's be honest, my waifu is in the game, so I'm happy enough as it is. Oh god, I'm gonna get so many people fucking, like, harping on me for this shit. Live games. Now this is really more or less so dedicated to, the sub videos that I've done, which were live, the D&D Earth videos, which are live on my Discord. I played the beta version of Planet Zoo live, as well as the charity streams. You could also count them as live games, where I'm, like, interacting with the audience and just having an overall good time. JPOG. Jurassic Park Operation Genesis has been a game that I have been wanting to play for years. For years. And let's just say, from the Jurassic World Evolution videos that I did, a certain somebody, which I'll mention him later in the Iceberg, reached out to me and said, yo, you know you could just get the game by doing this, right? And I still thank him to this day.
To this day! To this day!
For getting me to play, finally, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. And I still have the game on my fucking PC, by the way. And I still play it from, like, time to time, like, time and again. Because it is a game that I've been wanting to play, like, forever. Forever. And when I finally did it for the sub special, it was like a dream fucking come true. It really was. Now on to the Iceberg itself. Twitch. Now, I used to be a Twitch streamer. Before I realized that you could record and do live stuff on YouTube, I did my live stuff on Twitch. Now, it wasn't for very long. It was like around COVID, something, or not around COVID. It was like right around when I was in college is when I did Twitch. And I would just stream in my dorm room, and it was mostly to play certain, like, one game, maybe two, because I think Jurassic World Evolution was another game that I played on Twitch. But yeah, I used to be a Twitch streamer until I was like, I'm not doing this shit no more. Far Cry Primal. Now, Far Cry Primal, for those of you who don't know, was the biggest game that I played on Twitch. And I have a whole video dedicated to all the highlights that were from the game itself. And this was around the time when I was legitimately having an absolute blast playing a video game. While, you know, having certain people watch the stream and interact with me. I thought it was really fun. I definitely have played Far Cry Primal before, but the Twitch experience of when I played it was like 10 times better. Because I had people watching, and it was legitimately overall a fun time. Von Nathos. Now, Von Nathos, or the Omni Bestiary, as some of you might know him, is one of the few YouTubers that we personally know each other. Von Nathos has actually been a college buddy of mine, and we actually dormed together one year. And funny enough, it was the year that COVID hit, so we had to pack our bags and fucking leave the dorm, and I was like, oh, fuck, man. But, you know, Von Nathos, he's also one of my players for D&D Earth. He talks about various different creatures or animals and kind of relates them to their real-world counterparts, which I think is really cool, and I genuinely suggest you check his channel out.
Whoa! Is that SmaugtheDM? What are you doing here? No, seriously, what are you doing here? I should be in a private pocket dimension right now.
Well, I finally learned how to hack into other people's dimensions through the screens they use to read their scripts off to the audience. And hey, I thought if you're going to do something like this, you should probably have someone backing you up. And besides, you know I'm not going to miss out on a chance to talk about the Jurassic Park franchise ever since we watched Battle at Big Rock together. Right?
Well, fine with me. It wouldn't hurt to have a specialist in dinosaurs back me up here.
Final Wars in C tier. Now this is infamous for the Godzilla tier list that I did with Trike in Canada on the channel, where at first, Final Wars, I did not like the movie very, very much. Like, the start of the movie is very, very slow, and then once you get to Godzilla finally rampaging through, it gets a little bit better. But it just feels like the Godzilla mixed with the Matrix. And it was just, I was like, I just didn't quite like it as much as, like, I didn't like it at first. So I put it in C tier, and everyone kind of started rampaging through and was like, you better fucking bump that out of a C tier. And I'm like, it's not an F. I didn't fucking completely hate it. I'm not a fan of this thing. And the backlash that I got from it kind of pushed me to putting Final Wars a little bit above. I think I put it in B tier, I believe. But yes, Final Wars in C tier was infamous for getting backlashed. Devil Monkey Encounter. Now, this is more or less dedicated to Commander Canada, actually, and his encounter with a albino devil monkey that was on his grandparents' property. And the reason why it's even on the tier list, it's not on the tier list, it's on the Iceberg itself, is because I was there when the monkey itself was on the roof and it was making a whole bunch of calls. And yes, I do remember we were watching the Lost World Jurassic Park while we were listening into it. And so when he officially told his story as to what happened, and we kind of discussed it all the way through, some of the community members in the Lost Tapes server were like, I don't quite believe you, Canada. Because Canada is kind of in the middle of when he comes to like lying or telling the truth about some things. And genuinely, I do believe his story, especially since he did get a hair from it and sent it to get it DNA tested, which I thought was like, okay, that's legit. But yeah, this encounter is so infamous as well that in the D&D Earth campaign, Commander Canada's character, funny enough, in Aiden, has his own encounter with the devil monkeys, with, I would admit, a little bit of a darker ending to it. But yeah, so this encounter is a little infamous on the channel as well. Movie reviews. Now, this harpers back all the way to my very first video on the channel, which was the Warcraft movie review. Where I talked about the Warcraft movie and how it was like, it was okay. I did a whole bunch of other movie reviews as well. I talked about the Slender Man movie, which was awful. I talked about Logan and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as a review. I even reviewed Detective Pikachu with swords, which that one's still on the channel. And I even did the first FNAF movie review on there as well. So those videos are kind of infamous for... Technically, that was like the first video I ever did on the channel, was the Warcraft movie review. That's not a joke, that's not a lie. That was legitimately the first video I did. Smaug Maneuver. For those of you who play games with me, or have watched the Far Cry Primal streams, you'll know this maneuver, where I I like to usually jump from a very, very high place and jump into water. That is usually what I like to do. I like jumping from really high places and just falling into water. And so the move kind of became infamous when a certain other thing that I'll talk about in the Iceberg later happened. And yeah, the move became very famous with me being the dumb idiot who flies off of a high place and just jumps off, screaming, "Spout maneuver! Spout maneuver!" There we go! Allura Titans of the Galaxy. Yeah, so this is like right around the time when I did the Secrets of Dr. Wu DLC, the first Evolution game, where I genuinely liked the color design of the Allura Titan's crest. I don't remember which pattern it was for. I think it was for... Was it for, I don't remember the pattern for it, but I do remember the coloration, which I kind of got upset when they didn't add it for Evolution 2. But it reminded me of, like, the coloration from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and so I made an entire, like, herd of Allura Titans and named them after each of the different Guardians at the time, which I thought was really, really funny. Playing Stupid. Now, this is a series that it technically started with Heroes of the Storm on my channel, where I had another buddy of mine play with me, and we would play Battlefront, we played Battlefront 2, and he has been begging, I mean, he has been dying to do another video, and I'm like, dude, nobody fucking watches this shit, and it's just for our own fucking fun, and we have somebody else usually watching when we're recording, so you can't ever, like, really do a Playing Stupid video again. He's still adamant about doing it, but oh my god. But it was just something, like, that was really dumb, and it was just us it was just us friends, like, fucking beating the shit out of each other, usually, in video games. I just thought it was fun. Trike. Now, Trike717 is a dino YouTuber, let's put it at that. I mean, he hasn't put out any content, but he's been a good buddy of the Lost Tape server and to this channel for quite a while. He's a person who's heavily, like, based on the idea of everything should be accurate, at least dino-wise. He's, like, one of the biggest dino nerds I've got on my server, and, you know, one of my best, you know, one of the few buddies that is very big into dinosaur shit like I am. And, you know, more recently he's started to drift away from the channel, which is just fine, but, you know, it's a little upsetting to see him go. But yeah, Trek is one of the few YouTubers that has collabed a whole bunch with me. He's a player for D&D Earth as well. And he's one of the few YouTubers, right, or he's one of the few fans of mine who he and I actually sent each other stuff. And no, it's not what you're thinking. No, in actual reality, I haven't told this story, but he wanted a Violante figure. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll pay for it. Just send me a whole bunch of other stuff that you were wanting to get rid of. And he and I kind of traded along those different types of stuff for that Violante figure. And, yeah, needless to say, that's how I got the Lego Smaug figurine for the channel, actually, is from Trike. Solomon's Rivalry.
Are you ready for round 2?
Now, I briefly talked about it in the Monster Monterey Bay portion, but yes, the YouTuber known as Solomon Pleasant. He was originally the first YouTuber who inspired me to talk about Lost Tapes overall, because his original, like, top 12 scariest Lost Tapes video is by far, like, the biggest thing that I have seen. And when Soul Mont Pleasant got added into the Season 4 project, I was like, holy shit! I was like, holy fuck! It's like, at the time, it was like, he was like one of the biggest YouTubers that I could probably think of that was like on the smaller scale. And I was like, holy shit! Soul Mont Pleasant's here! What the fuck? It's like meeting your childhood like superhero, and he's like, you know what, I'm fucking helping you out. And I'm like, yo! And so, where this whole rivalry got started is I do believe it's because Monster of Monterey was the first episode he watched of Lost Tapes when it came on. And since I said that I fucking hated that episode, he and I have squared up multiple times. And it's more or less just a friendly rivalry. It's nothing like really hateful towards each other, but it's just a little playful rivalry we have with each other about Lost Tapes overall.
At 50 feet long, the plesiosaur flies through the water like a great bird of prey. Clenched in its jaws is all that remains of Pod's clan.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I did do one video about it, but yes, I am a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! More specifically, if you want to know what kind of decks I like to use, I like running dinosaurs overall. I just like playing dinosaurs, and I'm not embarrassed to fucking say it, I like running Exo Sisters as well. I don't play Dinomorphia because it's a little taxing on my health, but genuinely, like, I will either run a generic Dino deck, which gets updated, like, constantly, or I run Exo Sisters just to fuck with people. But yes, for those of you who do know, and Von Nathus is one of those people that does know, I do like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! From time to time. Timmy. For those of you who have played the Far Cry Primal streams, Timmy the Immortal Mammoth should not come as a shock to you. So Timmy was like, Timmy is a mammoth that my chat decided to name for the juvenile mammoths that you're able to ride in the game, and Timmy has been a huge staple for the Far Cry Primal streams, and that's why Timmy is like down there on the list for those of you who really don't know. Kittler. You're probably looking at the name and going, what the fuck is this, Smaug? And, I'll give you the short answer to this one. The way I explain this one, and I'll keep this brief, is Kittler was a glitch that happened in Far Cry Primal, where I was riding the Bloodfang Sabertooth over to the Bloodtusk Mammoth Hunt mission that they have in the game. I fell down a whole bunch of cliffs and was attacking an Udam when I suddenly got dismounted. And I was like, what the fuck? And I turned around to look at my saber, and it's glitched out into this image where the cat is like still stuck in the kill animation. And judging by the imagery here, yeah, you could say that. So yeah, Kittler is kind of a funny glitch that happened that my chat was like, that's what we're naming it. And I'm like, oh no. Swords. Now, for those of you who don't know, Swords has been... He's more than just any other regular YouTuber. He has been my best friend, actually, since middle school. And so the Playing Stupid series is kind of the two of us, like, best friends, kind of just shooting each other and just having a good old time. Swords doesn't really do too much of his own content, but he is an artist, in his own way, and he is legitimately actually getting better at his art. He started off like, and I say this, you know, personally as a friend, like, of his art was kind of shit at the beginning. And sometimes he would do some really cool, neat pieces, and I'm like, okay, I'll keep those pieces. But swords overall, he has gotten better with his art over time, and I guess I'll just give him a huge shout out here. If you want to like get art commissioned from him, I highly recommend him to get your art commissioned. I mean, I'll try to see if I can get some good art from him on the screen, but yes, I would recommend him for commissions if you're asking for them.
Well, what you just described sounds like an emergency. Swords, are you asking questions? Don't ask me questions.
And question everything.
Commander Canada. Now, Commander Canada has, shall we say, infested this channel. Even more than my own best friend, which is just a shocker, I know. But Commander Canada also came along during the Season 4 project, and he and Trike have been kind of like this this co-duo of people who genuinely I have collabed with. I have done entire videos dedicated to them. They're both D&D Earth players. And I think Commander Canada, what makes him stand out is he's a lot more vocal about his own preferences to a point where it just sounds like bullying. And so, yeah, if some people get intimidated by him, don't worry. Don't worry, he doesn't legitimately bite. I will bite back on him. But yeah, Commander Canada, like, another thing about him is that he's the only Canadian that I truly fucking know, as a friend, like, right, you know, I have a Canadian friend now in Commander Canada, and, needless to say, another thing about him is that he got me into Trailer Park Boys.
BAM! Peanut butter and jam! What the fuck are you doing, Phil?
Which is a show that I genuinely didn't think would be as funny as Red Green, but holy fuck. Holy fuck, it's entertaining as hell. But yeah, Commander Canada is another one of the fans of mine who's genuinely like one of the few friends on the channel. Canada, you're Thanos in this film.
Yo, so this is Godzilla versus Megalon versus Anguillus versus Power Rangers versus James Bond versus Akano versus Thanos
versus Fast and Furious
versus Fast and Furious versus Mad Max versus Commander Canada. Bro, this movie's insane.
Steelhawk. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Steelhawk is, and has been, my first legitimate fan of the channel. He hasn't done very much on his own because he's been kind of silent for quite a few years now. But Steelhawk is one of the few, was like the very first fan of the channel. And, he's the reason why I got J-Pog in the first place, which I still thank him each and every day. And the thing that I could probably say is most recently, he did help me with the Desolation of Smaug Everything Wrong With video by taking the time and effort, as well as myself, to watch the entirety of both the extended and, like, theatrical versions of Desolation, see how vague references to Sauron, like, how long that lasts. So he kind of helped me with that, but he's genuinely, like, a big Lord of the Rings and Star Wars fan, if you guys are ever interested in him. Pepper. Now, this is the very last thing from the Far Cry Primal well, not really, but it's, like, the main reason why I play Far Cry Primal on Twitch, is, I had a black cat named Pepper. He was very obese, but he was very, very loving. I absolutely fucking love that cat. Still have the cat. I still have that cat's. I still have the image of that cat on my phone. It's like the first thing you open on my phone. There's the cat. But he unfortunately passed away around that time, like 2019, 2020. I think it was due to liver failure or kidney failure. It was either one of those. And so, because when I originally played Far Cry Primal, the black cave lion that you get in the game, I would always call him Pepper, because he looked very similar to my cat. And so I kind of played Far Cry Primal the same way in remembering that cat. And for the entirety of the stream, every time I rid on the black cave lion, I would always call him Pepper, just due to that. Now we're going under the iceberg. Falx. Falx is the very first person to ever donate any cash to me. And he donated $50 to the Far Cry Primal Twitch streams, which was, by the way, that was fucking amazing. You didn't have to. I mean, eventually later on, he got surpassed by Schlock, who gave the full $90 to the Leaf Green charity streams. But, man, Falx being the first person to donate to me was just awesome back in the day. Halloween. Now, Halloween could mean so many different things. First of all, Halloween's my favorite holiday, overall, genuinely. Halloween's also a T-Rex that I had in Jurassic World Evolution. And she was one of the few T-Rexes that I actually had, other than Black T-Rex, which is a reference to Dinosaur Game. And she was kind of like that orangey black kind of coloration to it. I really like that. But then Halloween also is around the same time where I get together with my Lost Tapes buddies and we dedicate the entire day from like practically like 9 to 8 o'clock around my time frame to watch the entire series of Lost Tapes on Halloween. Unfortunately, again, I won't be able to do that on Halloween this year. I might do it on the 1st of November, but it's genuinely a Lost Tapes tradition, if you will, to watch the entire series on Halloween. Starly.
Mr. Owl.
How many times does it take for Smaug to be beaten down by a Starly?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
How many beatdowns from a Starly does Smaug need to take before he rages? The world may never know.
Now, for those people who know this reference, and I only point to Ginger King who knows this reference, or as he was formerly known as Boss Antelope, Starly is a Pokemon in which is over-leveled for like the 3rd dungeon in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorer Time series. And I fucking hated these Starlies so damn much. Because they're over-leveled, they're overpowered, and they just kill you in like 2 hits. It's like, why? Everything else about the dungeon is fine, but why? I hate Starly because of this shit. I mean, genuinely, Starly's like meh in like the mainline games, but for whatever reason in Mystery Dungeon, they're just like beat the fuck up, and I'm like, oh my god, why?
Wow, it's like the extended cruelty of the first game is condensed down into one single solitary fuck you moment. Well, guess what fuck you moment? Fuck you!
DeviantArt memes. Now, this is like a little series in which I would go over a bunch of memes that were within DeviantArt that were sent to me for, like, you know, like something like a little fun. It was either laughing at an entire meme or it was like creating something with a certain meme. like having like different themes for your OC, or talking about your favorite things. It was like little fun video, like little funny videos that I like doing for the channel. When you realize Smaug isn't married to the woman from Bigfoot. I swear to Jesus, this is why I made the YTP. It's because of this fucking joke. I can't be on that whole server without somebody making mention that I do like the ranger from Bigfoot. Dinosaur Island. Now, this is a series that some people have been wanting me to bring back, but unfortunately, with how many times I keep constantly getting moved in Florida, that's not happening. So Dinosaur Island was a series that I created where it was like, I had a whole bunch of like, it was inspired by Gloppy 605's Prehistoric series, or his own Dinosaur Island series, in which he would take, you know, dinosaur toys like out into like his yard or something like that and record like nature documentaries, if you will. And I did my own take on it, and a lot of people did like the series. They genuinely did, which I think is really neat. But unfortunately, the series had to get canceled because, again, I kept constantly fucking moving, which is a little upsetting. But yeah, it's a series that, you know, some of you may know, others not so much. Pokemon with hats. Now, this is basically Llamas with hats, but with Carl as a Clay Lava and Paul as a Pikachu, and this is more or less based on the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series, where my personality is always a Cyndaquil, and I would evolve it into Quailava because that's about as far as I got in the game. Whereas my best buddy, Swords, would be stuck as a Pikachu because you need a Thunderstone to evolve it into a Raichu. And so that was kind of the inspiration for that, was kind of the joke of, you know, why don't we do Llamas with hats, but it's just me and Swords talking. So, and that's going to be the interesting part when we get to Heart Gold, and I get to pick Cyndaquil. So, spoilers on that. But I will be naming Cyndaquil Carl, and that's the reason why, this is the reason why is with the Pokemon with hats series.
Carl, you've tracked mud all over the carpet!
Now that right there is a mess.
I just had it cleaned yesterday, Carl.
I'm not responsible for this. I've been jamming on the saxophone all morning.
They're clearly your hoof prints, Carl.
Then there is an imposter on the loose.
They lead directly to you!
Clue number 1. The imposter is a phantom.
Carl, stop
Meanwhile...
Sergeant? Self-destruct!
Carl!
Banned videos. Now, these are for the videos that have been, like, ban-hammered, like, to high hell, on the channel. And no matter what kind of editing I would do, I can't get those videos to come back. And there's a couple that I can think of in my mind. The biggest one I could think of was me talking about a South Korean film called Tiger, an Old Hunter's Tale, which was a film that I genuinely really liked, but unfortunately, when it came to talking about it, I got banned. Like, the video got, like, just nuked from, I think the publisher, I believe it was. So it was kind of crappy, but the YouTube poop video that I did also got banned because, you know, DreamWorks. Fucking hell. And more recently, the Everything Wrong With Disney's Dinosaur video that I did got banned by Disney, and I'm like, oh, come on! Like, the fucker took me months to do, and it just gets nuked the instant I put it on there. It's like, oh, man, fuck. Maple Syrup Challenge. Now, this is in reference to... This is the last reference, I believe, to the Far Cry Primal streams, where the challenge was, and this was offered by Commander Canada himself, he was like, if you die, I want you to chug a whole thing of maple syrup. And since I was on a college campus, I had, like, I could get, like, the little packets of maple syrup that they had, because they would have pancakes and waffles in the morning. I was like, fuck it, you know what? I'll grab one of those from the cafeteria over there and do that. And so, funny thing is, I pulled a Smaug maneuver when a Sabertooth was hunting me down, and I thought I was able to jump into the water. Turns out, it wasn't deep enough. And I died. So I literally chugged a whole container of maple syrup on stream. And I was like, yep, that's what I get. Draw my life. Now, this was a sub-special that I did, where I basically talked about my life very, very briefly. Now, I grant you that some of the details were fudged up, because I didn't like talking about my personal stuff at the time, but now that I'm more comfortable and I'm, like, higher up on my channel, I like talking about, like, more of my personal stuff. And so, yeah, a lot of explanation comes from my life video that I did. Breast cancer. Now, this talking point is actually in reference to the Mother of Dragons, which some of you may know is my mom. My mom, like, a couple years back, when I think I turned 23 or something like that, she got diagnosed with breast cancer while she was on a trip to Germany. And it was devastating to fucking hear that, to a point where I even told my community, I'm like, I need a couple of days to process this shit. And so, I mean, ultimately, towards the end there, you know, my mom's alive and well. She most recently came up to Pennsylvania to see me, and she's doing incredibly well for herself. She's got a whole new job now. Like, she's genuinely doing really well. But it was a very dark period of my life, I would say, in that I was constantly worried about my own mother, like, getting worse and worse. But due to this diagnosis, she opened out into the community and told other women in her community, like, hey, go check yourselves. And she did a whole 5K run to that specific reason. And from this whole thing, that's where the inspiration for the charity streams even came about. My Pokemon charity streams came from my mother's push to help others in the community out with that same diagnosis. And that's why I started out with the American Cancer Society, which I thought was genuinely pretty cool. Hunger Games. Now, these are for, like, the little fun videos that I did right around Valentine's Day, funny enough, where I had, like, a whole bunch of different characters rostered together, and it was, like, on a Hunger Games sort of, like, simulator where you would put in a bunch of characters and random shit would happen. I kind of almost want to do something similar to that, because they have other options, like Hell's Kitchen. They have Hell's Kitchen as an option. And I almost want to do that with all the Pokemon that are within my charity stream, is just do a Hell Kitchen series. Just to see how it goes. Oh, but yeah. The Hunger Games videos were just little fun videos where I was just having fun with the community and just having a genuinely good time with that.
Stop. Stop. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I could cry. I could just cry. Oh, fuck! Stop! Come here, you. Let me show you something. I've got raw fucking catfish there. Oh. Then there's burnt shit there. You. Get out! You're a fucking disgrace! Fuck! Hey! Touch! That's the raw bits!
Yeah, I see it, Chef. I see it.
Fucking disgrace!
Half PA, half Florida. Now, this is in reference to the Draw My Life video where I mentioned that, yes, indeed, I was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So, yes, I was born in the same place as the office. And so I've been born Pennsylvanian, but during my 5th grade year, my second half of it, my mom and my stepfather, they moved to Florida. And for the second half of my 5th grade year, I, was a kid in Florida. I actually went to school in Florida, and for most of my life up until I turned 18, I would dedicate 2 months of my life over the summer to go see my mom and my stepfather in Florida. So, in a sense, you could technically say I'm part Floridian and part Pennsylvanian at the same time, which I think is genuinely really cool. Warcraft 3. Now, Warcraft 3 kind of entails, the short, brief period I had in 2016 where I was just playing World of Warcraft, not playing World of Warcraft, playing Warcraft 3, games on my old PC. And I was just playing Undead, and it was just a little fun reference all the way back then. But I guess on this same section, I have been a fan of Warcraft 3. I have played World of Warcraft. I am kind of a fan of World of Warcraft, but, the recent lore that's been happening has just been... Oh boy. But, genuinely speaking, I am a Warcraft fan. I genuinely do kind of like the lore. Season 3 permaban. Now, this is in reference to the time that my channel actually almost got deleted off of YouTube itself because I had every single episode of Lost Tapes Season 3 on my channel, which gained the attention of a certain Warner Brothers, who basically banned 3 of the episodes and almost took down my channel, and I had to personally write a letter out to them and say, okay, I won't be doing this, I apologize, I'm so sorry, I will delete the rest of the Lost Tapes episode, just please don't ban the channel, please, for love all this fuck. And so I was able to talk my way around it to getting my channel saved, and so wow, I can't believe I have to say that Lost Tapes Season 3 almost got me banned. Wow. Just, wow. Top 13 intro. Now, this is in reference to way back in the day when I used to do top 13 videos that weren't a part of the sub specials, with the intro that I had. And, I don't know if I could do that. Let me try. I'll do this, for old time's sake, and you guys will probably know the reference. This is a SmaugtheDM Top 13. Woohoo! This is a SmaugtheDM Top 13. Woohoo! If you got that and your ears weren't blasted out, congratulations. Interviews. Now, I have done multiple interviews, actually. One of probably the biggest ones that I've done on the channel was with another fan of mine, who he was interested in talking about Lost Tapes. He wanted to know some career advice about zookeeping, which was really cool, and a whole bunch of other topics that we discussed. But the reason why the interviews are so low on the list is because actually, if you go to my college, which is Del Val U Video, I think is the channel name, you can actually find 2 different interviews that I had worked on for my video editing class that I did. And what it boiled down to is, you know, SmaugtheDM is his own separate character from me. And I did talk about a little bit of the origins of where I started, you know, doing video editing and all that sort of stuff, which is really neat. If you want to go check out those interviews, you'll find them. You'll find them on there, believe me. And now we're in the deep water. Real name. Oh, you thought you were gonna get my real name out of me. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, so I did not want to reveal my name for the longest of times because I'm like, I don't want people recognizing me. But my real name I have given out to people who genuinely I consider to be my best friends. So, you know, Swords definitely knows, Von Nathos knows, Trike in Canada know, and there are several others who know my name personally. But, yeah, if you wanted to know my real name, like, I do have hints to it as well. I had an entire Planet Zoo dedicated to my last name, which I tried hiding. It wasn't very well. But, yeah. Needless to say, I really did not want to do this, but yeah. If you wanted to know me, I'll just do my first name, just make it easier. Yes, my name is Michael. And if you're thinking, and if now you're thinking, yes, did you just self-insert into the D&D Earth game? I'm like, not quite, but also yes. If that makes any sense. But yeah, now you guys know. Now you know. Now you know. Revealed during a Try Not to Laugh. Now this is in reference to my 200 sub special, where I fully revealed my face, which is the video, which is the image that you see on the deep end image. There is when I did my first face reveal, and the whole video was then later dedicated to just doing a Try Not to Laugh with my face on there, while I was in the common area of my dorm.
All right, I'll swing by for a minute, allow them to envy me, grab a handful of popcorn shrimp, and blow out of there. But what if it's a cruel prank? What if it's a cash bar? How dare they? All right, I'll go, but I'll be fashionably late. No, yes, no, yes. No, yes! Definitely not. All right, I've made my decision. I'm going, and that's that. Had my fingers crossed.
God damn it. Oh. Alright, hi, everybody. Just be a warning here, this is gonna be the first time I show off my face, so please don't be mad at me. Oh, Christ. I've always never wanted to do this, but today's an exception. You guys gave me 200 subs. And I don't know what to say, other than, here we go. God damn it. Alright, never mind. Can't rip my face off, so, this is the video, this is how it's gonna go. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll drag myself over. Let's build up the suspense by making this as slow as possible. Oh, there's an ear. There's my glasses. I do wear glasses. Shut the fuck up, computer. You're a pain in the ass and you're annoying. Oh, there was the side of my face. Hell, let's just get this done and over with, shall we, folks? Here we go. This is me. Yep, so you guys always wanted to know what I looked like. This is it. I've literally have nothing else to hide now anymore. This is just depressing as shit. The extinct animals video. Now you're probably thinking, Smaug, why in the fuck is this all the way down to the deep end? Shouldn't that be on the fucking surface? Because this is like your most popular video overall, like period. Well, my sweet summer children, the video that's on the channel is not the original video I did. No, no, no. And even if you want to say that this was a re-upload, like the video that's up there is also a re-upload, oh no. No, my dear friends. Even the original video that I posted on my channel is not the original. It's not even close. The original video that I did way back when I was like this is like 2011, 2012. And this is why it's so funny when I get so many comments going like, this video's all the way from like the 2010s. This feels weird. And it's like, because you're right. Because when I did the OG original video is around the 2010s. That's when I started doing it. I might actually react to that original video if we get to 10k subs. That might be one of the things that I would like to really do is watch my old videos that I used to do. And kind of like react to how I used to do videos back in the day. But that's why it's so deep, is because of the OG video that you guys have never seen quite yet, but I 100% want to show you when the time comes. The Jurassic World Evolution shirts. Now, why is this here? Because around the time when I did Claire Sanctuary, I was actually selling shirts. I was giving away shirts. And for real, you know, looking back at it then, I was like, why the fuck was I doing that? That seemed a little weird, but okay. So I did a whole dedicated shirt to my favorite division of evolution, which was science. And I had somebody who requested security. You know who that person was? Steelhawk. And I swear, I really hope he still has that shirt, by the way. He was the only other person that I like, sent anything to. And so the whole shirt thing was just, like, a way to get some profit off of me and, you know, promote something that, you know, I was doing around the same time. Or, well, more or less, I kind of gave the shirt out for free. I was just like, nobody's fucking buying these things. And so, basically, that's what it was. I only sold one shirt, and if you guys remember that shit, congratulations, you've been there since Claire Sanctuary, which I thank you for, but, yeah, that's why it's so low there. Why Smaug? So this is in relation as to why I'm called SmaugtheDM. And the main reason why I probably say that I am, like, Smaug, like, why I like Smaug and why I picked Smaug, is because around the time the Hobbit trilogy was in the theaters, and I genuinely really liked Smaug. I was like, this is like my favorite villain of all fucking time, holy shit. And I just thought it was like a genuinely like creative name. Like, Smaug is a dungeon master? Like, a villain being a dungeon master? What? No! So that's genuinely like, and I still get questions as to why I'm called, like, why am I called SmaugtheDM? I'm still genuinely like, you know, people still genuinely ask, like, why are you called SmaugtheDM? Why? It's weird. NFL team. Okay, hear me out. I live somewhere near Philly. Let's put it at that. And the main reason why this is on the list is because somebody wanted me to put this on the list. But for those of you who really want to know, I'm not a Philadelphia Eagles fan. No. If you want to know my favorite NFL team, it's the fucking Cowboys. Oh no, here we go. Here we fucking go. Yep, we're about to fucking start. No, I'm being genuinely serious. I do like the Cowboys. Even though I think this year, they're not gonna do very well. I mean, we just barely won against the Giants. I'm like, oh my fucking god. Yeah, our season's just dead in the water. Oh my god. But yeah, that's genuinely my favorite football team. And if you got a problem with that, fight me. Nah, just kidding. I don't want anybody coming into my house and fucking shooting me up a store because I'm a Cashews fan. Oh my god. And the reason why I say I'm a Cashews fan is because that way you don't say Cowboys, because Cowboys is the trigger word. Oh my god.
Fuck out of here, boy. Get that weak shit out.
Autistic origin. Now, if you've seen the Draw My Life, it should be no surprise. If you've seen how I behave, it should be no surprise. But yes, I do have autism. More specifically, I have Asperger's syndrome. Which basically means I genuinely have a set routine as to how things should be. I'm genuinely trying to be, like, better at it, but it's kind of something I've been stuck with. But now, that's not really the main reason why it's so below, because anybody can look at me and tell me, like, you're autistic. Well, actually, no. A lot of people don't know that I have autism until I say something. And then they're like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah. Because I genuinely seem pretty normal. But no, the reason why this one's so far on the list is how I found out that I had Asperger's. Now, this is going to get very, very, very fucking sensitive. So, I'm warning you right now, if you don't, like, let's see, things that have been recently going on in schools, I advise you to just skip and go to the next portion. And they left. Okay, good. Let's continue. So, for context, let's put it at this. For context, I had no idea what Columbine was. No fucking clue at the time. None. Let's get that straight out of the way. Now, what I think about school shootings nowadays, it's fucked. And I would imagine that if I found out about my diagnosis, later on in my life, I would be probably in fucking prison. I would probably be in prison right now. But the story is that a friend of mine and we were drawing some doodles, like stick figure shit, and it was just basically shooting up people on those doodles. And we didn't think of anything about it, because we were in fucking 4th grade. I've never held a gun, let alone saw what a gun looked like. And also at the time had no idea what Columbine was. I have to make that distinction very, very clear. And so I just, kind of threw it away, like, thinking it was nothing. Next thing I know, I get called in the following day to the principal's office, almost getting kicked out of school because of the drawings. And I was like, the fuck? Like, what the hell do you mean? Like, what? And so my mother actually got extremely pissed. She was like, "What in the fuck are you thinking, child?" And I was like, Mom, I don't know. I don't even know. I just have a day off of school now. Over a stupid drawing." And so we actually went to a psychiatric hospital where they sat me in front of a psychiatrist, and I talked about the whole thing. I was like, I just drew this. It wasn't for anything. And she wanted me to continue the comic, and I was like, something fucking stupid. It's just something stupid. And this is probably why I got the diagnosis. But an interesting fact was there was I believe the figurine was a safari iguanodon. I remember it very specifically because I was like, "Oh my god, it's there! I don't have this one yet." And I was just playing around with it the entire thing, like not paying attention. And that's when I got my my diagnosis. Actually, is we pulled out of the psych hospital, and Mom found out, shit, he has Asperger's. And it's like, what? And then so I came into school, like, I don't know, a couple days later, kind of explained my end of the story, and from there on, I'm like, nothing really else happened. And now, obviously, I knew what, nowadays, now I know what Columbine was, and I was like, oh, that's why they pulled me out and almost kicked me out of school. Oh, and considering what's been happening nowadays, like, ooh, if I were to do something like that, I would be going to juvenile detention. And that's kind of the real stinker here, right? Because let's just say this, I'll put this out there. I would never, in my wildest dreams, pull something off like that. Never. Never. I don't even want to think of the possibility of shooting somebody. Never. Never will I ever do that. I might hate somebody to a point where I am thinking about it, but would I ever commit the act? Fuck no. Fuck no. I would try every other possible scenario before that happened. God, if anything were to ever fucking happen, somebody's gonna clip that out of context, and oh my god. But that is genuinely what happened. Like, I did some stupid fucking doodle, and then I found out I was autistic because of it. And it's like, man, that's still crazy for me to even think about it. And for the fact that they even, like, continue to let me stay in school, whereas, like, nowadays, like, some kid fucking did the same shit, and they didn't find out that they weren't autistic. Like, man, it was just a fucking different time, man. Erebor Craft. Now, this was the server that I wanted to put up on YouTube, where it was a whole dedicated Minecraft server, where it was just like, oh, I have a whole bunch of mods to it, and we're just fucking around playing Minecraft together. Unfortunately, though, not many people wanted to play Minecraft with me. And so the entire server then got shut down due to me having to pay for a server, which was kind of expensive to do, and to genuinely, like, have nobody run it, like, play in it other than me, was kind of depressing. And finally, but certainly not least on the iceberg, home life references. Now that I've revealed to where I've lived at, what my name is, D&D Earth's starting to make sense now as to how many home references I have. So yeah, the house that the players first invade in the very first episode is legitimately where I live. I made an entire joke about it in the YouTube poop video of it, where, you know, Donkey's looking out on the scenery and is like, "Whoo, look at that! who want to live in a place like that? And that's genuinely like where I live currently in PA, which I find to be extremely funny. I think it was really just a joke for me to laugh at.
That kind of, I don't care what nobody thinks of me thing. I like that. I respect that, Shrek. You all right. Woo, look at that. Who'd want to live in a place like that?
That would be my home.
Oh, man. But yeah, and then a big one is the Floridian house that's in the campaign. Is actually the apartment house that my mother and my stepfather lived in when they were still together. And it's genuinely a house that I have known like for a very long time. And you know, obviously it doesn't have like a huge garden like it does in the campaign, but like it was like a little 4x4 like yard. It's kind of crappy. But it's a house that I very much like remember fondly, and yeah, like that's really the entire iceberg right there, guys. And good lord, was that a lot? Good lord, was that a lot? I really hope the video is not like an hour long. My god. I didn't want to torture you guys for like an hour covering this thing, but it is a lot. It is a lot of different things about myself and my channel. And I just wanted to do something fun for this little update, despite everything crashing and burning. So if you guys enjoyed like covering the iceberg in the update, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know how far you actually know some of these references in the iceberg. Like the video as always, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with me. And hopefully when the Everything Wrong with Jurassic Park 3 video comes out, which I'm hoping is soon, you guys can see that right away. And
Alright, let's cut the bullshit right here. For those of you who have made it this far, I just want to say thank you so much for watching through that entire iceberg. But as many of you all know, that while I was actually doing this update and editing through it, some of you may know that Katie, unfortunately, Katie, my leopard gecko, unfortunately passed away. And I just want to reach out to my entire community and just say for all the support that you guys gave me around that time frame, I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it was a really really horrible time, and this is about the second time I've actually lost a reptile on this while I was doing YouTube as a whole, because I lost Chris, my bearded dragon, when I got finished with high school. Some of you may know. So I think officially now Chris and Kate could be on the iceberg for real. Wow, that's just morbid. But yeah, so I'm here to just cut through the bullshit and just say, yeah, let's be for real. I started this update in September. This is about the end of October. Wow. Yeah, so, needless to say, it's fucked. The entire, rest of the year might just be fucked. So, here's how I'm gonna do this. So, we're gonna slightly alter the timeline, right? So we're going to get rid of the timeline altogether. And needless to say, all those videos that you see on the timeline are still going to get done. I'm hoping to get the surprise video out roughly in November, which is what I originally planned to have that video out for. And currently, as of right now, while I'm doing this recording, I have been playing Jurassic World Evolution 3, so those videos should be out soon, as well as the Everything Wrong with Jurassic Park 3 video. I'm And trust me, everything's slowly getting done. I just gotta get through it all. So, needless to say, how I'm gonna do it for the rest of this year is pretty much whatever the fuck gets done first, is going to be the set of videos that are going to be released first. And as of currently right now, I think the Evolution 3 videos are going to be the first things that you guys are going to get to see because, hey, it's the new game. I want to show you guys how I'm liking the campaign so far. And so that's pretty much the update now. I severely want to, like, heavily apologize to everybody. Especially for those of you who come here only on October and you just like seeing the October content. This has just been a really, really bad year for me. In terms of getting any of these videos done. And I know I wanted, like, FNAF 2 to be done in October, but clearly I think it's going to get done in November. I clearly want to play FNAF 2 before I go watch the movie. Like, that, I think that's my genuine goal right now. But, yeah, for this October, it was mainly, Katie passing away, and especially because the week that, it was around my birthday was when we did the surprise video. So I guess, again, that still spoils what the surprise video is, but I think you guys are genuinely going to really enjoy it. But yeah, now this is really the end of the video. So I really hope you guys, enjoy the Iceberg as much as I did. Still comment down below. Let me know what you guys, like, how far deep you got into the Iceberg and, basically complain about, well, Smaug hasn't done shit on his channel. But yeah, and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything that's going on with all the new content that's coming up. And until next time, guys, I am the DM.